It's
All views expressed by the hosts and guests in this podcast are solely their opinions and do not reflect the opinions of their respective employers. Guests and hosts may maintain positions in the assets discussed in this podcast. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and nothing in the podcast is intended to be financial, legal, or even life advice.
GM, welcome back everyone to another episode of More Than Speculation. And today's episode, we have Tascha from INFINIT. Let's jump right into rapid fire questions, man.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do it.
Token price, community, or tech? What's most important?
Community.
Why do you believe in DeFi?
As in like
Because-
DeFi AI. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because it makes DeFi, the DEFI, a lot more easily accessible and just abstract a lot of complexity out. Yeah, without AI, we cannot do that.
What do you think is the biggest blocker for DeFi as a sector right now? DeFAI.
Yo, we need a different name for this.
I know, right?
DeFi or something. But
Or we can call it DeFi with the A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think biggest blocker would be evolution of AI itself. Less hallucination would be key, especially when it deals with financial assets.
What do you think will be next catalyst to bring this DeFi AI into like action or more PMF, I would say?
I think we need two things. One is more users, of course, and then the other is a way to get the users. So I think users right now we can buckle it into those who are already comfortable with crypto. If you look at the 100% of the people comfortable with crypto, very few percentages still use DeFi without the A, right? So the first target group is how do we convert all of them to easily use DeFi. So I think we can just look at that target group without having to look at people who only trade and not use DeFi. The second is how do we make this group easily use DeFi, right? And I think it comes down to making sure that it really guides the users from 0 to 100 very simply without having users to type in specifically what they do and what they need, because otherwise it would not be as simple to begin with, right? And I think that's where INFINIT also comes in.
Nice. What do you think is the most general DeFi yield you're excited about right now?
I think a lot of the yields are not too exciting at the moment, unless you do like some leverage looping or different leverage tactics that you can do. But personally, I like leverage stables at this point because there are actually multiple types of stables now on chain, different wrapped versions, different chains, and different protocols that have more points on top of these stables that you can also loop. So yeah, that would be my go-to.
Got it. Okay, let's take a step back a bit, and for our uninitiated audience, what is INFINIT?
Yeah. Long story short, INFINIT is AI-powered DeFi intelligence platform. It takes you from discovery, evaluation, to execution, all of them in a personalized way. So what I mean by personalized, you mean based on the tokens you're holding in your wallets, based on your goal, your financial goals. Is your goal to make as much profit as possible, or is your goal to earn consistent yield every month based on your risk profile as well? So all of those combined will create personalized DeFi strategies and also execution for you, so that you don't have to spend hours researching and executing all these things by yourself.
Nice. Let's go a little bit deeper on this. So like the tech stack, what does it actually include? So I'm guessing there's something to do involved with like holding the assets for users, integration towards different dexes, aggregating database and news information, or I mentioned, is it going to actually do? Is the product ready? Maybe we can jump into it a little bit.
Yeah, the product's ready. To kind of give an overview of what's behind the product as well, before we jump into the product demo. So you nail multiple points that you mentioned earlier, like data sets and all those things. So I think to easily break it down, it comes down to like 3-4 different parts. First part is data. this data actually comes from on-chain and off-chain. So for example, on-chain can be like different APYs on 10 different chains that we are integrated with. Off-chain data sets can be, for example, like crypto Twitter. So we make sure to curate a lot of different interesting crypto Twitter tweets to be the data sets for the use strategy suggestions for our users, as well as like token unlocks, protocol documents to make sure that our AI understands as much as it can to help you as a users. The second point comes when within the AI in our backend, there are multiple AI agents that work on different tasks. So think of it as, each AI agent is tasked with different particular thing. So we need to make sure we teach them how to do their tasks and making sure they are able to learn accordingly based on different users' inputs and different users' goals. So these AI agents can do from multiple research to helping you like evaluate or even like create that transaction on chain for you when you know what you want to do already. So based on the agenda of each AI agent. And then finally, when you know that, okay, this is the strategy you want to do on chain, after using our product and guiding through the research part, and you decide, okay, this is what you want to do, Infinite will go through the transaction flow for you, and it would ask you to confirm. So all of the funds are actually in your wallet. It's not in Infinite's wallet. It's non-custodial. Right. So we make sure that you have control at all time of your funds, and we have no ability to move or just execute without your consent.
No, wait. Execute with your consent. So do you approve? Do you approve the agent to please swap this when this happens, or it's more like they'll ping you, but like, do you want to swap this right now, kind of thing?
So with the trigger based, in order to execute that trigger based, you need the custodial wallet. We don't want to do that at the moment yet with the the current AI hallucination percentages. So right now it's more of a DeFi strategy that users want to do at this moment. So let's say that okay, the stables yield on Silo is very good, and you want to do multiple steps based on the research that Infinite has helped you do the research. Then you realize, okay, I want to do now. Then you're like, please do for me. Then it would create the transaction and summarize the flow for the users.
Got it. So just a quick recap before I pass it to you again, dude. Basically, it helps you with the research. So let's say if I want to know what's the best stable yield on Vera, it will tell you, here's what I found, blah, blah. And of course, you have a lot of the data on the back end. And then it will tell you and provide like the transaction flow. If and you can tell it like, hey, like what if I want to loop this like 5x and so on. So it will tell you how it works. And then you can execute the transaction, and everything is self-custodial.
Yes, correct.
Got it. All right.
Nice.
Maybe we can jump into the product demo.
Yeah, sure. Let me bring it up.
Let's see.
Okay, so this product is live. You can go check it out at app.infinite.tech. You can ignore this. This is the internal version one. And coming in, all the assets already in the wallet. So if you look in here, they're actually yield strategies recommendation based on the assets I have, which I have stables. So it actually recommends that, hey, like this is something, if I want to go a bit further, I can also do. And I did also mention that I like.
I'm actually in that strategy.
Oh yeah, I did mention that I like leverage stables. So it knows from my wallets as well that I like leverage stables, and that's why it recommends me the strategy. You can read more into like, how do you do it? What are the rewards? And all those different details.
Wait, before we jump into it, how are these information aggregated? Like, did you, because like the problem I had with when I research is that it's all these information are not collected into one data place. So like, even if I use, how did you find these? Like, how is the AI able to get these?
So this is from the curated list of Twitter that we track as a data source. So as you can see here, this is from one of the tweets that and of course, there's so many tweets on crypto Twitter, right? So when all these information is fed to our AI, we also have to make sure that, data source or data sets that are not applicable are like removed out. So clean the data as much as possible, and as a result, we can create like a fine list of data sets to feed the AI.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's
Nice.
one particular thing that makes your journey, I would say, like saves a lot more of your time as well. If you connect the wallet to our app, then it would, suggest something that's more relevant for you. Something you can also, take it further and ask the app to help execute. So on this app here, right, you notice there are 4 different things at the bottom here. So these are examples of things that you can do with the application. You can execute different activities. You can ask it to do DeFi research. You can ask it to do yield research, particularly around like, hey, what's the best APY around a particular asset, or like what's the best yields on Bear Chain. You can also ask it something to help your goals. If you have a very clear financial goals, for example, if you want to earn $50 a month from your 5 ETH, what are some ways you can do? So let's get into some examples. So I did ask some of these questions already to save the time for AI thinking. So for example, we can
before we load into it, just so we can ask some questions, right? While we look at others, for DeFi research, would it be able to do on-chain analysis? Like, let's say the thing is, because I'm always a lot myself, right? Like, and I can't be bothered to track like all these 50 wallets or the top wealth wallets, and I always wanted some intern to do it all for me. Just wondering, does it have the capability to do such a thing?
So the task would be to track the wallets, right? Like track 50 wallets and the assets in the 50 wallets.
Yeah, so right now I am shorting PIF because there's a big unlock. So right now I'm shorting PIF. So I look at
my
a few
friend's gonna
things.
kill me.
So I'm shorting PIF. They have like around 6% float unlocking in 1 day ish. Right now their spot volume hasn't increased. Their aggregated funding rate is quite negative right now, and the aggregated open interest on perks are up right now. So everyone is shorting it, but no one is selling the spot. And since the unlock is tomorrow, I kind of want to find out like, where and like I want to set alert, or I want to figure a way out to track those wallets quickly to see when they get distributed, what are their user habits, so I should know when am I closing my position, kind of thing. But I can't be bothered, and I'm not very good at Solana scan basically. So like, I was wondering, would this be able to help?
It's a very specific question.
For this particular use case, no, unfortunately not. And the reason is because we focus mainly on helping users do like DeFi activities on chain, and that's our like niche and that's our focus. We do less on like trading or like wallet tracking, or let's say like meme coins, token tracking, all those things as well. However, like if you want to learn more about like token unlocks or like how does particular protocol work and all those things, that would fall under DeFi research. Yeah.
I see. Okay. I will ask about you more later on or something. Because like I realize apparently I've been talking to a lot of people who shorts basically. They're saying that DeFi Llama unlock is not the most accurate because some teams are not acting in great faith, and so I always have to verify when they unlock those kind of things. But yeah, all right, sorry. Let's get back to it.
Yeah. Good to know, though. That's something for us to consider as well.
Yeah, join me on my shorts. Join me in my shorts.
Okay.
Okay, but anyways, now you get the idea of like overview of what it can do. So, for example, if you have a goal already that you want to earn
Earning
$50 based on, let's say, 5 ETH, how can I do that, right? It's a very specific and personalized agenda. And based on this, then Infinite would tailor multiple suggestions that actually fit this goal. For example, here, like Upshift, Fraxlend, Stream Finance. There's some risk to consider and also recommendation as well. So based on this, it should help you discover different ways that you can achieve your goals. If you notice at the bottom, these are different questions that Infinite also Infinite AI also thinks further to determine, hey, like in order for you to execute this, or in order for you to determine this, what else do you need to know? So you might want to know like the risk around upshift finance, or you might want to know about minimum deposit required for stream finance. So these are something that are questions to like help you through the evaluation process.
Can we ask about the upshift finance one? The click on
Yeah.
it.
Taking a bit of time.
It's okay. I guess the similar. Can we go to another example while it loads? Maybe.
Yeah. So here, this one. So I did ask, what's the best yield on bearish right now? So quite a number of them, and with APY, with the TVL of the pool size, because that's also a decision. Like my decision would also be based on how big's the TVL as well, and also like different information that would help you think through like which one would you want to put your funds into. Yeah, and if you want to do any of this, then you can also ask Infinite to execute the particular strategy.
Oh, interesting.
Are the sources listed below, like after like the query? Is it like Perplexity when you can see like where the sources are coming from, or is it just a hyperlink? I guess that's the.
I see. These sources are from DeFi Llama, but yeah, we can add it.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the
Got it.
APY is
Okay.
from DeFi Llama.
Yep. I'll save more questions for later. Maybe we can look at the other examples. Yeah.
This is actually very cool. Oh, shit. All the thread don't like me is going out of market, Shit.
Hey, that's why we're making video, man. It's hard to fake this yet.
How can any users access this, or do they have to hold certain tokens or buy certain things or pay for a fee or something like that?
No, they can enter at app.infinite.tech. No need to hold a particular token or no gated access. We want to make sure people access DeFi as much as possible, and that's why we build the product. So we don't want to gate the product by any means.
It's not live yet right now, right? It's not fully live yet.
It is live. It is live. Yeah, we have the big upgrade in 2 days, so that's why I'm showing you the internal version. Yeah, but by the time this video goes out, the upgrade should already be
right.
live.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice. What was the big update, by the way?
Yeah, so big update, which already includes in this version that I'm showing you, entails 3 parts. So the first part is personalized DeFi strategy. So the part relating to your recommendation based on your wallet's activity, based on your tokens in the wallet, and also all the goal-based questions. These are also like a part of the personalized intelligence that we include in the Thursday upgrade. And then the second is what we call adaptive intelligence. So this is more of like behind the scene AI working together to keep learning more about you as you use the product. So that's why it is able to suggest these different questions to kind of help you think through and evaluate the options better. This is only particular like thread, right? But the more you use the product, the more it will also like learn more about you and try to suggest some things that are more relevant for you over time as well. And then the third thing is we make sure that we include a lot more data sets from the previous version. So not just crypto Twitter, but expanded list of crypto Twitter, protocol documents, token unlocks, and also like different on-chain like APY sources. So making sure that your data sets are like as comprehensive as possible. Yeah, those are like the 3 main parts in the upgrade, apart from like UX UI and like cleaner user flows and stuff.
Got it.
Nice. So what's the revenue model? How is the app making money, or in general? They just on the fees when you do the transaction, or
Yeah. So actually from 3 parts. First part is every transaction executed, whether it's all these DeFi executions, we collect the fee. And right now it's still pretty simple actions, like a one action, like swap, like lend. The version we're building towards is actually going to be multiple actions combined into one. So for
Stacked
example,
action,
combined into one click. So for example, you might want to like bridge your CC from base to Solana, and then lend into a particular app, and then loop. So it can be like multiple actions to one click. So we collect the fee of each, as well as the premium fee for benefiting from the one click.
Yep.
So that's the second fee. And then the third fee is also there are going to be like different features, and also like I would say like more intelligent agents that can suggest you even like more tailored strategies and execute like harder complex transactions. So those those agents, we would make it more of a freemium model, where if you're in the free version, you don't have to pay, but you don't have to pay to access those agents, but you also cannot use that agent. So you kind of need to pay more to use those higher quality agents.
Got it.
Wait, when you say pay,
Yeah.
is it like per transaction, or is it per subscription, or?
Yeah, per transaction.
Nice.
And
Okay.
and can like anybody right now create like an agent, or do you have to get in touch with a team and so on?
Yeah, right now it's our team creating it because we want to make sure the quality, and also making sure that all the agents are like performing as how it should be.
Yep.
However, like as we work towards, I think the next step actually is going to be enabling a lot more complex transactions, and also like multi-step agents into one click. And then
Right.
after that, we would want to make sure that other developers, other protocols can actually build their own agents in the way that they want to, and connect those agents to all of the agents in Infinite. But when we get there, we also need to create like a developer framework to make sure that all the agents follow the high standards, and there's a clear review process.
Oh, nice. What's the final form of this, by the way? Like, what's your? Let's say if I can, bing, and then this is like fully ready. what would be the final form of this?
Yeah, good question. Final form is actually, so imagine you all have a lot of different strategies in your mind, or the ways that you use DeFi, right? And you already write all these strategies out in your tweet, or maybe newsletter, or even maybe just like note it down. The final form is, I want all these users to be creators of strategies. So you don't have to be able to code to write these strategies to automate things for you. What you need to do is you input your strategies that you have in mind in our product, and our product already create the right prompt and the link to execute it with a clear breakdown of what the transaction is doing, right? So what it means is, you as a someone who knows these strategies, you can actually monetize from your knowledge. And it helps a lot, in my opinion, because there is a small group of people who know and do these things, but we're turning this information to be accessible to a lot of people. And you as a creator of this strategy can also like monetize from each person and each other people like following your strategy and executing according to what you create. So that's the final form. And I think what that also means, going back to the earlier question that you asked me of like, what's blocking DeFAI from more adoption, right? In my opinion, is we can get the people who are familiar with DeFi right now to use DeFi more with DeFAI. And if we can get to the state where you as a curator and like strategy creator can create strategies just from a few prompts without having to write code, then 99% out there of the people who are familiar with DeFi can now easily use DeFi in just a click. So with one click, following that strategy that you created, then they would already see like, hey, like, Two Lambros started this strategy into like silo finance, and then doing multiple steps, then that person can easily follow in a click. Does that make sense? Or am I like
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do believe that. I agree with you to. I think the biggest blocker right now is hallucination. For AI, and you don't fully trust it, basically. But I would love to have an AI information bot right now. Like It'd be good if I can tell them that, hey, this is what I want to do. They propose me certain things, and then I still click the things myself. And I think the biggest blocker is hallucination. Secondly, is the fee model, because like it's not cheap to run this, right? And then DeFi is not a thing where you can just give out incentives like for people to keep using it, kind of thing. So like I think that's the business side of things that blocks it basically. Like I wouldn't want to pay 1% on something that is something like that, right? But whereas for meme coin terminals and stuff like that, because of the speed, MEV blockers, all those kind of things, I'm happy to pay the 1%. But for yield farming DeFi, I can take my time, kind of thing. Like I can imagine myself paying like maybe $100. Well, because we're friends, I don't expect to pay like a subscription. My cheap Asian ass can't pay that shit, but like I will pay like $100 for like ChatGPT DeFi version
for like a
just
premium.
To, like,
Yeah. Got it.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
No, like I actually want to expand on that more, but like before we go there, is there anything else that you still want to like showcase in the demo?
Yeah, I think quick thing is we have 20 plus agents all listed out here. Not just execution agents, but also like research. And within research, there are like 3 agents helping each other to make sure you discover DeFi as best as possible. You can also filter by chain as well. We have like 10 chains integrated. Yeah, so I think it's worth checking out and worth exploring to see how this can help with your DeFi journey, especially for those who haven't been super active on DeFi.
Do you have no plans to tokenize the agent? I'm just kidding. you can tokenize trading strategies. You can tokenize vaults, and it's gonna be super degen. It's just very very reflexive. But anyway, yeah, no, I think it's interesting. I wanted to get your take, or just like how you think about, like just building on what Lambro said earlier. It seems that I'm not gonna name names, but like other DeFi AI competitors are like simply focusing on like pure distribution or like point system, but also like what Lambro said, it's expensive to like run this, right? Like do you eventually foresee that, like what's the secret sauce here that you think is going to require for you to win? Is it the distribution? Is it some super special agent that's going to be able to do something new? Yeah, what's your take on it?
So I see there are 3 approaches. The first approach is a lot of projects are focusing on improving the model, right? Making sure the model is so much better. And as a result, they hope to gain more market share based on that, right? In my opinion, that's very costly. And to a certain point, like unless you are like Grok team or like ChatGPT team, it's going to be very hard for you to keep up with those models too.
Yep.
So we don't do that approach. Although I think it's worth trying, and some teams are trying, and very kudos to them for taking that path as well. The second approach, from what I see other projects are doing, is expanding to become more generalized. So, for example, like having different capabilities like wallet tracking, DeFi execution, DeFi research, or even like market making capabilities, different things that different target groups want. So that's another strategy. So it's more of like winning some market share of each segment. We also don't want to do that, although some projects are doing it, and that's great. The third approach, which is what we are focusing on, is be super good at something. And that's something that we want to be super good at is DeFi, DEFI, right? And mainly that's because the background of the team has been delved in DeFi for like 4 or 5 years. So we have, blockchain engineers, and we have people who really understand the contracts and therefore are able to build complex DeFi agents in a safe way and also like in a quick way. So I think ultimately to answer your question, then how I see INFINIT to make sure that we generate a lot more protocol fees to cover all these costs is to be the go-to platform where people interact with DeFi. So with my hope, like we really want to change how people interact with DeFi, because I see the current interaction is actually like preventing many people to enter, right? So without you having to know all the chains, without you having to access all the 20 tabs and know, different applications and know how to use all the applications and know where to find all those information, like you just go to Infinite and research different things, execute, and ultimately, like you may not even have to go to Infinite if there is a let's say, like strategy link that, let's say, Tulambo already created on Infinite. So you can simply just click on that link that Tulambo created as an executable strategy. Then you can simply, copy trade or like copy strategy that Tulambo already created. So that just simply changed the game of how you use DeFi. You don't have to directly do all these things yourself.
Got it.
Got it. Nice. Okay. So what's the most actionables? Can we airdrop farm? What's the token play and all that kind of stuff?
There's already like a point system, right? Yeah. So maybe we can talk about that also. Yeah.
Yes. So by the time this video goes out, we would already launch the batch system, and with each DeFi agents that you interact with, you would get different batch. All agents are weighted equally, so even if you swap or you research or you like bridge, all of them are. If you do one time, you would get one batch. If you do 3 times, you would get the silver tier of the batch. So and all these batches would also aggregate. If you do 5 times, you would get like a gold badge, and ultimately, all these batch would also aggregate, and then you can accumulate the batch to translate to something else later on.
Nice. What do you think? Something else later on. All right, cool. Okay. What do you think about your competitions? Like what? To correct, make sure I got it right. There's Wayfinders and what's the one that the Daniel one made? I still don't know. I still forgot. I actually hold the token.
Are you part of Frog Nation?
Yeah, Frog Nation.
God, yeah.
You mean Hanon? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like what? Oh, Hey Anon. Yeah, that's one. So like
yeah.
I think Wayfinder has a relatively similar user interface or product offering as you. I'm not sure about a Hey Anon one. Like, what do you think? It's the different sectors, or do you think you guys are fighting for the exact same users, or is there like a slight differentiator between different products?
I think different, although as of now it may not seem as different because we're super early in the journey of like DeFAI, right? How I see Wayfinder is more on sophisticated users, creating these different paths, and then making sure users can like follow the paths, right? But because the gated access of the product, we are also unsure of how users can follow those paths that are being created. So I think the product being created so far is clearer that it's targeted more for like sophisticated users only. At least from external looking in, and we cannot access too much because of the gated access as well.
Right. It's so gated.
Yeah. For Hey Anon, I think they are focusing a lot more on different actions within, like, so if you remember the strategy earlier, it's a second strategy where it's doing something of each segment so that they can capture some potential market share of each category or like each segment. So they have like wallet tracking, they have like trading, they have like a trigger, for example, like if you set a time trigger, then it can also help execute it. They also have like DeFi execution. So I think how I see it is they're more AI assisted DeFi executions, and there are different executions that you can do on Hey Anon. So yeah, ultimately for us, I would say we target those who wanna just do one-click DeFi, and for those who already have strategies in their mind, they can actually monetize from those strategies. So you already do different strategies on Silo or like Rings protocol. You can turn that strategies into a prompt, and people can actually follow those prompts and use DeFi in one click, and you vice versa can also monetize from that. So I think it just changes the game of like how people use DeFi instead of just having AI assisted along the way, but it actually is changing how people think of DeFi.
Got it.
Nice. I think okay. I think we have 2 more questions left. Before going to that, do you have any questions for us?
No questions.
I put you on the spot there. All right. Last question is that what do you think is required to make it in crypto?
Ooh, make it in crypto. I think 2 things. And I would say this would apply for all types of stakeholders, whether you're a founder or a trader or different other parties. First thing is timing. So when I say timing, it's more of like you need to know when you need to slow down, and when let's say like if it's the bear market, it doesn't worth keep doing stuff and like keep launching because the market just doesn't help. And I think the market timing is so important. The second, in my opinion, is well, there are 3 things then. The second is the strategy that you need to navigate because the timing would actually reinforce your strategy, right? So it's of course very hard to know the timing, but you need to kind of gauge as best as possible, and that would shift your strategy on when you need to go hard, when you need to like slow down a bit, and also making sure that your team's ready to kind of go with that pace with you. But in order to execute that strategy, I think you really need to make sure that you're like locked in the game as much as you can for the whole journey. The third thing I think that I find really important is knowing the right people in the space because there are so much like information asymmetry within crypto, not just in like trading insights, but also like different services or like who can help with what and insights that other people have and knowing the right people and making sure you're nice to them as well. Then they can share all these insights to you, which would help determine the 1 and the 2 as well. So I see all 3 of them kind of play together hand in hand.
Nice.
Got it.
All right.
Got it. That's a very comprehensive breakdown. Yeah, that's good.
All right. I think that's a wrap. Thank you very much for your time today.
And you can check all of the show notes below to find everything about Infinite. And where can they find you, Tascha?
Yeah, so my Twitter is Tascha_PANPAN, like the 2 pants. Or Infinite's Twitter is Infinite_labs.
Got it. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you again for jumping on. Until next time.
Thank you.